What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your co-host Donovan Quick, and yesterday Jacob hit you with the 5 things that we learned from the Patriots game, but today is trade deadline day, so I'm gonna hit you guys with 5 things that the Dolphins could do on deadline day. Possible targets, possible position needs, and maybe even some people that we're selling. So before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and help us get to 1,000. Our goal is to do that before December 1st, so help us out. Love y'all. All right, straight into it. We could possibly be selling a little bit at the deadline day. With that being said, we already know some guys that could be going. One of them being Emmanuel Ogbah. Now, he doesn't necessarily fit the scheme as much as, the Dolphins would have liked him to. But he has produced. I believe he's our second or third leading sacks. I think he has 3 sacks on the season. He barely plays, and he has 3 sacks on the season. So he's having a good year. He had that interception. He had a couple of other balls batted down. He is having a good year with such limited playing time. Now, this could come into effect in playoff time, when we could really use him, or when we were down Jalen Phillips. I know we put in Andrew Van Ginkel and it fit perfectly, but he could possibly be on the move, and he could possibly be on the move for extra offensive line help, could be on the move for extra safety help. Offensive line is a big position of need right now, in my opinion, being how battered and beaten we are. I mean, where are we down to? Our third string left tackle, our third string left guard. If you really want to think about it, actually, it's probably 4th string left guard, because it probably goes Eichenberg, then obviously starting is Isaiah Wynn. Then after that is Eichenberg. He backs up left guard, right guard, and center. Right now, center, he knows center the best, or he's the only one that really knows center, so he has to back up center. So then it goes to Robert Jones, but when Robert Hunt went out, Robert Jones went to right guard. So then that leaves, Lester Cotton, our 4th string left guard. On the other hand, we have our 3rd string right guard, Robert Jones. And then we have our, once again, backup center, and then our healthy right tackle, knock on wood. If you would have told me that Austin Jackson was our only healthy right tackle when we were 6-2, I would have called you crazy. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. We are majorly battered, majorly beaten. So Ogbah could possibly be on the move in a package for an offensive lineman. However, I looked at the trade market. There's not really any good offensive linemen outside of the Patriots that are really on the trade block right now. They have their guard, Owenwu. I hope I pronounced that right. And then their tackle, Trent Brown. Obviously, he hasn't been good this year. And their line's been beaten as well. So these guys aren't the healthiest, but they're healthier than what we got now. But the Patriots probably not going to trade to us midseason. I know we've done trades in the past before. I doubt we're trading midseason with the Patriots. I just don't see it happening. If it does, all the more power to them. But I just don't see that happening. However, the rest of the market kind of dull. However, there is Lyle Collins just sitting in free agency, waiting on a call from a contender like the Dolphins. And I mean, who's the better team to go and stick it to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, if the Bengals even make the playoffs, than the Dolphins? I mean, come on now. I think it's almost a no-brainer to, bring him in for a visit at the very least. So that's your position right there. Another guy that we could be selling is Brandon Jones. And now this is an interesting one. So he is at the tail end of his rookie deal. He's coming off his ACL injury. He had probably his best game so far this year. He hasn't really played much. Deshaun Elliott, his college teammate, has really played more or really all the snaps this season. Brandon Jones thrust into the lineup with Javon Holland being out with a concussion. So he right now is our 3rd string safety. However, if you can package him in a deal and get Justin Simmons from the Broncos, and possibly even with that getting the Broncos to eat Justin Simmons' contract to get him over to us. I mean, we'll eat his contract next year, but this year we only have 2.3 million in cap space right now. Bringing him over directly would put us way over the cap. So bringing him in and restructuring his deal, I'm not sure exactly how the cap works, if we can bring him over, restructure, and we'll be fine, or if we can't trade for him at all unless the Broncos take on most of his contract because of the cap situation. I'm not 100% how that works, but there always is a way to work it out. And I think Brandon Jones could be a piece that gets sent over for Justin Simmons. And Justin Simmons, we know he was on the Broncos. We know he's one of the best safeties in the league. He was an all-pro under Vic Fangio. We know he knows this defense. He's a Fangio guy. We could have the best safety duo in the league on top of having the best corner trio or quad in the league. Jalen Ramsey looked amazing. Xavier Howard possibly coming back this week. Nick Needham looked good in his limited role. I think he played 6 snaps. Cam Smith, really promising. Eli Apple, get him out of there. Obviously, Kader Kohu, he's been great this year, minus the Stephon Diggs game. So bringing in Justin Simmons would give us the best secondary in the entire league. And it's kind of borderline there already when we're fully healthy. However, like Justin Simmons and Javon Holland, I mean, we spent all offseason, or most of the offseason, being like, oh, Poyer and Holland, that would be amazing, blah, 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 blah. Then we brought in Elliott, and everybody was kind of a little bit depressed, but then realized that Elliott was actually good, and we're happy. But, I mean, still, Poyer and Holland, and then you also have Simmons and Holland. Like, it's like the difference between being a Pro Bowl and an All-Pro. It's the difference between being a Super Bowl contender and a Super Bowl winner. Like, that is the kind of just talent that just thrives out of that right there. Another position of need is tight end, and someone I could see being on the move in a package for a tight end is someone like Jeff Wilson Jr. We know that we have Achane coming off of IR. However, this move I think becomes less likely with Isaiah Wynn going on IR. Now, the reason I say that is that, you know, now we have over the allotted guys that can come off IR. So we're probably bringing off Eric Ezukanma. We already activated Craycraft. Isaiah Wynn is probably going to be someone that comes off. Teron Armstead is going to be someone that comes off. Robert Jones already came off. Jalen Ramsey already came off. We're only allotted 8 slots, and I think we're at like 9 or 10 people that can come off. Chris Brooks being, you know, one of those guys, he could possibly stay on IR for the rest of the year, and I could see Chris Brooks being out for the rest of the year and us just sitting with Jeff Wilson, Achane, Ahmed, and Mostert for the rest of the year. So that way we can bring back, you know, guys that are probably going to be used more in this offense than Chris Brooks would. However, I still wouldn't necessarily rule out trading Jeff Wilson if the compensation is good enough, also to clear some money, to possibly get someone else in, like a Justin Simmons, like a linebacker. I know Devin White, you know, the Tampa Bay linebackers, they've been rumored to be traded all offseason. Now they're doing a little bit better than everybody thought that they were. They're actually competitive. They might be in playoff contention at the end of the year. So I think it's less likely that those guys get traded than before the season. But we're at where we're at right now. So linebacker is another spot that I think we could possibly target. I like the way David Long's playing. Jerome Baker has really come on the last couple games with the way he's playing. Andrew Van Ginkel has been all over the field all season long. So, I mean, those 3 guys, just absolute monsters. But then you go back and you don't really... What happens when these guys are on the field for a long time? Vic Fangio barely playing the backups. Like, he's keeping these starters on the field all the time. And I'm not really... I don't really like it, because I like seeing guys that are rotated in and out. I don't like seeing guys get tired. So I know linebackers typically play almost every snap, but you know, guys like Jalen Phillips, I want to get more rest. Guys like Bradley Chubb, I don't want them playing, you know, over 80% of the snaps. I want them playing somewhere around 70-75% of the snaps, so we can get guys in there, you know, that Fangio trusts on a consistent basis to go in there and produce, so we don't have to constantly use our starters in regular season. Like, obviously, come playoff time, you want your starters to go in there and last a little bit longer, because they're your starters for a reason. Last but not least, I mean, the Dolphins are still calling on running backs. Now, this isn't my personal opinion. This isn't like, oh, I think this is a need. This is literally the only thing I've heard trade rumor-wise around the Dolphins that has any kind of substance, and it is the Dolphins have been calling around poking at running backs. Again, like, bro, give it a rest. You have Mostert, who's having a career year. Achane is coming off IR in 2 weeks. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. There's certain running backs that could possibly be on the trade market, Josh Jacobs being one. Saquon has been told he's not being moved, but we'll see. Same thing with Tennessee with Derrick Henry. He's been told he's not being moved. But we've seen this, you know, we've seen this all before. Hey, you're not going to be traded, and then the offer is just too good to pass up. Henry's on a 1-year deal. He's a free agent after this year. Who says he comes back? Saquon also on a 1-year deal. Who says he comes back? Josh Jacobs also on a 1-year deal. Who says he goes back? You know, and he just had a really good game last night, minus his 2 drop passes. But who says that these guys want back in their organizations? Man, I mean, just if you want to talk about just a limitless backfield, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, trade them Jeff Wilson Jr. Who cares? Like that's just an elite running back room. Like, I understand it. Like, you can never have too many weapons, but like when you have other positions, it's kind of like, really, bro? Or really? But having 3 possible Pro Bowl worthy running backs on the squad, I can't say no to it. Can you? That's it for today. I hope y'all have a great Tuesday. Happy Halloween. And I hope the Dolphins do something worth talking about. Thank y'all. Have a great day.